Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more Arab, notable Arab Americans. I could not think of what the title was. I probably still didn't get it fully right, but I apologize. Anyway, today we're here to talk about the man you see before you, Colonel James Jabara. He was born in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and was a member of the Air Force before there technically was an Air Force, though he would serve into its birth and existence, because Air Force was from 1947 to the present day. He served from 1943 to 1966. World War II pilot. He was born October the 10th, 1923, and would pass away on November the 17th, 1966, as a colonel in the U.S. Air Force. So, yeah. Served in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. And that's information from the Military Hall of Honor. Here's from the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. First jet versus jet ace, Captain James Jabara. The world's first jet versus jet ace. So a dogfight ace. It was United States Air Force Captain James Jabara, who scored his initial victory on April the 3rd, 1951, and his 5th and 6th on May the 20th. He was then ordered back to the U.S. for special duty. 51 would have been Korean War. At his own request, he returned to Korea in January 1953. By June, he had shot down 9 more MiG-15s, giving him a total of 15 air-to-air jet victories during the war. Jabara also is credited with 1.5 victories over Europe during World War II. The German Luftwaffe had 22 jet pilot aces during World War II, but all claims were Allied prop-driven aircraft. December 1966, Jabara, then a colonel, was killed in an automobile accident while traveling to a new assignment. So, even as good as he was in the skies, it was something as mundane as we think of as an automobile accident that unfortunately took his life. But yeah. Captain James Jabara, later Colonel, because I think that's what they said he was when he passed. Yeah, rank of Colonel. But James Jabara, this is from Wikipedia, he earned the nicknames Jabby or the Seeger Kid. But born in Muskogee, Oklahoma, died in Delray Beach, Florida, is actually buried in Arlington National Cemetery, one of the highest honors you can achieve. Um, he served in the United States Army Air Forces, which is what we were before the Air Force. It became the Air Force in 47. So those first 4 years, it was under United States Army Air Forces, which was a branch of the Army. It became its own thing in 47. He commanded the 31st Tactical Fighter Wing and the 337th Fighter Interceptor Squadron. He earned awards such as the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, 7 Distinguished Flying Crosses, 24 Air Medals, and the British Distinguished Flying Cross. So, yeah. He was the first American and U.S. Air Force jet ace, is what he's known as. Enlisted as an aviation cadet at Fort Riley in Kansas after graduating from high school. Jabara attended 4 flying schools in Texas before he received his pilot wings and was commissioned as a second lieutenant. Jabara flew 2 tours of combat duty in Europe during World War II as a North American P-51 Mustang pilot and scored 1.5 air victories against German aircraft. So I reckon he scored 1 victory on his own, and the other, it was a team victory against an ace. So, yeah. Jabara flew his first jet aircraft in 1948. The U.S. Air Force Lockheed F-80 Shooting Star before transitioning to the United States Air Force North American F-86 Sabre. So that was the first time he flew a jet aircraft. This was before the jets, P-51 and stuff. So Lockheed F-80 Shooting Star, then a F-86 Sabre. Jabara used the aircraft to shoot down multiple Soviet-built MiG-15 jets during the Korean War. Achieved his first confirmed air victory of the war on the 3rd of April 1951. A month later credited with 5th and 6th victories, making him the first American jet ace in history. He eventually scored 15 victories, giving him the title of a triple ace. Jabara was ranked as the second highest scoring U.S. ace of the Korean War, and he received the Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star. Yeah, we talked about all those. We listed them off up here, so yeah. He held a series of commands at various Air Force bases across the U.S. He flew the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter and later the Convair B-58 Hustler. In 1966, while on leave from service in Vietnam, he was traveling with his family in 2 cars to their new home when his daughter crashed a car she was driving and he was riding in, killing them both. God, that sucks. They were buried together at Arlington National Cemetery. In recognition of his contributions to military aviation, an airport outside Wichita, Kansas was named in his honor. Each year, the U.S. Air Force Academy Alumni Association bestows the Jabara Award upon an Academy graduate whose aerospace accomplishments demonstrate superior performance. So, yeah. As far as his descendancy, Um, his father, John Jabara, and mother came from Marjayoun. Marjayoun, I'm not actually sure how it's pronounced, in Lebanon, southern Lebanon. So, yeah. He was born in Muskogee, but grew up apparently in Wichita, in Kansas. So, let's see. He would uh, have a wife, Nina, with whom he would have 4 children. Uh, World War II, Korean War, we've talked quite a bit about. A lot of his recognition was Korea and how he performed there. Began flying with the jets when they were introduced as part of the Air Force, and just was really, really good with them. So, yeah. While he did serve in Vietnam, it says his first mission was in July '66, which we know he dies later in '66. But yeah, he was in an F-100 Super Sabre group that was on a bombing run in South Vietnam. They were going to move to South Carolina, apparently. But it was his 16-year-old daughter who was in the car with him, apparently, Carol Ann, and crashed it and killed both him and her. Jabara family in 2 cars. That just. They were driving. She was driving the Volkswagen with him as passenger in the back seat. She lost control of the car going through a construction zone when she veered onto a grass median, then swerving back onto the highway. But during the rapid turn, she lost control and the vehicle returned to the median where it rolled several times. Jabara was announced dead on arrival at a Delray hospital, and Carol Ann would die 2 days later. That sucks. It really, really does suck. For anyone to go that way, that's just. They're showing some more of the different medals. But yeah, so that's who we were looking at, Colonel James Jabara. ace pilot during Korea, was involved in the aerial forces during World War II, and even had a little bit of involvement in Vietnam. Who knows how long he would have been in the military? He was only 43, yeah. God almighty, that sucks. But, yeah. Another American of Arab descendancy. We seem to get a lot of people who are Lebanese when it comes to the Arab descendancy that moves to the U.S. That's one thing I've noticed. A lot of them are from Lebanon. But we'll go ahead and end this episode there. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting my links and sources in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.